kind of grew up with a dad who never negotiated, kind of middle class or lower middle class. He was working his way up. Then I had my mom, who was she kind of grew out of this in time, but she was super fundamentalist Christian religion. And so from both sides, I was getting a message that the world was dangerous. You can't trust anybody or anything. You have to kind of find some way to make it on your own, none of which actually works in the world. So that's a little bit about my story, how I got into this. And it's says something about the people I want to serve, people who grow up kind of with these messages from the history, the trauma history that's come down, but you don't quite have language for it. I think there's a lot of potential in people who walk that edge or walk those margins, and we can give a lot back and do a lot for other people in the world. Wow.
That is just so inspiring. And I think people that are around you, you make them see the world differently from what you grew up. I mean, it's a natural thing for a parent to shelter and help and protect their child from what they grew up in. But at the same time, you kind of swing to the opposite side or the extreme and shelter them too much and not see the goodness. And I think you've managed to kind of balance both worlds, but at the same time, see the beauty in people.
Yeah. I think to see both of my parents grow and continue to try to find ways to grow has let me know that change is possible. And then I also see the ways in which they're still stuck or they still struggle, that I know if they'd had access to therapy or high quality therapists, they could have grown so much more. So it's always a little bit heartbreaking when I hear stories or see people who did not have access to therapy.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, I'm going to jump into and how this kind of relates and how I see it relate to your helping, building, consulting your clients and those that are building their practice. Now, for a lot of clinicians, early on in their career, they have a particular mindset, which is one, scarcity mindset. The other is I can't, I'm less than concept. And you are here going, oh, hell no.
That's right. I think that's right. Go ahead.
No. Take it from there, Tiff.
I can say this. I can say part of that. So all of those things I still struggle with constantly. So even though I'm spreading this message, the reason I'm probably spreading it is because these are things that I'm intimately familiar with and finding ways to overcome, or some I have like grown a lot, and other things I'm still super struggling with. So that being said, the number one thing I would say that really helped me get over the initial hump of fear or scarcity is the idea that there are people who have done this thing before me. There are people who have been successful, who share their stories, whose footsteps I can follow in. And I have a sense of like, if that person can do it, I can do it. And so I would encourage all of you guys out there to foster that kind of mentality or keep that in mind. Because Ernesto, you're super cool. I'm super cool. We're somehow making it in the world, but we're also just people who are struggling and anxious all the time and terrified and don't know quite what to do next. Like, everyone feels that way. The difference is some of us can, with mentorship or with guidance, move forward even though we're scared.
Yeah, absolutely. Fear is, it's okay to feel fear and experience fear. It's not okay to be paralyzed by it. That's just, and part of practice building is, we are bombarded with fear. We are bombarded with the unknown, and it creates this feeling of fear. But like you said, Tiffany, I think it's really important to reach out to people like you, who give you that extra support and also be that cheerleader, and raise the flag when you're not feeling like you're not there yet. And then when you get there, holy crap, you throw this throw down, full out, dance party with ladies all over the place,
That's right.
I'm still stuck in the 80s, Tiffany. So.
Well, welcome. We should put on some music. We should party. But really, yeah. Like, I think if you have a champion, and I think a lot of us, in some ways, had people there for us, championing us as we were growing up, and in some ways, parts of ourselves were missed. And so if you can find the community, the individuals, and then hopefully the community who can champion you, and when you're struggling or when you are afraid or are feeling paralyzed, they can be there and say, yeah, I get that. And move forward. You can move forward. Then it's way easier to actually get through and accomplish the things we want to accomplish in the world.
Oh, absolutely. Okay, so now there's so many things I want to talk to you about, Tiffany, but you know what? This is not going to be the last time I'm going to invite you on this show, okay?
I'll be back.
Okay, freaking money. Let's talk about this money. You and I
Mm-hmm.
From your story, from my story, and for many of us, we have money stories,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And when you go into private practice, you got to be able to understand your money story, where you think about money. And unfortunately, the colleges, and I'm a professor at university, adjunct
Oh,
professor at university, and one of the things that is not being talked about in the university system is money. So let's
that's
talk
right.
about money, Tiff. What's
I'm
your
ready. Well,
what should a young clinician know about money?
well, this is okay. So first of all, this is a huge question and something that I've been thinking about. In fact, at the simple practice talk that you were at, I actually went in and talked to three therapists who have been super successful in terms of both struggling with money mindset stuff and also overcoming money mindset stuff in order to not let it hold you back in your practice. So I would say this to start, and there's a lot to say, and I have some questions for you. Probably the most important thing is to recognize, so a lot of us have anxiety about money, both receiving it, asking for it, taking it, talking about it, and all of that anxiety, what it tends to do the most is actually keep us from doing our work with clients. If we can't talk about money, if we can't accept money openly and understand that it's just something that comes and goes, it's like time, it's a reality that we must deal with. If we can't think about that and get comfortable with it, we are inevitably impacting the work of our clients. And we're also, most of us are, we equate, this is going to get complicated, so let me try to make it as clear as possible. In the same way we're afraid to put ourselves out there, raise our voice in terms of marketing, that always gets tied in with money in some way, and we actually keep ourselves from reaching the people that need us because all our anxiety and all our shame and all that stuff gets in the way and holds us back. So I would say the number one thing is to get over your money shit. That's a long, complicated, I'm psychoanalytic, so I understand it's a long, complicated process, but understand that that's actually holding you back
Not
from
true.
doing good in the world. Maybe that's what I'd start with.
Truth. Yeah, no, it makes a lot of sense because, a lot of times when you think when you get your license or you become, you go into private practice, there's this idea that money's going to come to you. No. Unless you understand your own money story, what you believe about money, what your relationship is about money, you will not be attracting those money. And when money comes in, what are you going to do with it? Is that the end all, or is that something that will help you develop a lifestyle that is good for you and your family?
That's absolutely right. I think that makes me think about what some of the therapists I've talked to who have actually been successful in their practices have spoken about, which is, one, they were able to detach the idea of their income from their self-worth. So I think a lot of therapists think, oh, if I was just better, then I can ask more money, or if I'm a better person, that's when I'll ask for more money. And it's really the amount of income you bring in has nothing to do with whether you're a good person or a bad
Right.
person. So that's number one, is decoupling those things. And then number two, this thing you said about once you can decouple your own sense of self-worth from money, then you can actually start thinking in this thing, like, am I taking money just to end and get the money? Or these are what the successful therapists have said. They understand money as simply an investment. They can just use their money. It goes out, it comes in, it's going to come to you, it's going to go to me. We're all just using it. It's just nothing. It's just a thing. And so once we can kind of get over the idea of money as the end all and be all, then we actually have much more ease with taking it, giving it, all of that stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like a river flowing, right? It's like, no stress. Money's going to come. Just
That's
be who
right.
you are. Develop your relationship with money. Don't hold on to it because it's just going to go. When you die, you're going to go.
That's right. It's just going to
I hate
go.
I hate to be morbid about it, but that's truth. I think money helps us to not only understand ourselves, but it's a way to develop that lifestyle of freedom.
That's right.
Money is not, it shouldn't be held. It should be spent, and it should be invested in your freedom.
That's right. That's right. Absolutely. And even this idea, okay, so I'm changing this mindset. Here's one of my money mindset myths that I'm recently letting go, and that's the idea that therapists are stingy and not willing to invest in their own businesses. So that's something I've thought about and talked about to people, but I'm actually realizing that that's not true. I think therapists, given our backgrounds, a lot of us just don't know who to trust. And so I think we would be willing to invest if we can find somebody who we can actually trust, who we believe it has our best interest in mind. That being said, I think this idea of money coming and money going, the more we therapists are willing to give, like, okay, our clients give us money and then we use that to get our own therapy or our own health insurance or our own consultation. It's just going.
Yeah, absolutely. Wow. Okay, so this is not the last time, guys. I'm talking to Tiffany. She's awesome. Please visit her website. I'm gonna invite her onto the show. I'm surrounded by just freaking throw down amazing clinicians just like Tiff. So I'm gonna bring it to you. Tiff, you had some freebies.
I had a freebie. I actually have a couple freebies, but I'm going to tell you about one. You can go to my site, heytiffany.com, find all kinds of other ones. But just yesterday, thinking about this talk we're going to have today, I put together a quick one-page PDF. I think one of my problems is that I make things too long. So for therapists, you're busy, I made it short and sweet. It's a PDF that has the 3 tools, actually 4, there's a bonus, that I use to build my list for heytiffany.com. My email subscriber list is now, in just a few months, over 400 folks, which is wonderful, and it feels so great, and I'm glad I can engage with people. So I gave you the 3 tools, the back-end stuff that I actually use to build that list, and you can find it by going to www.heytiffany.com/Ernesto. Oh! So I made it for you guys. I made it today. Yes, so you can go check that out. Learn about some of the behind the scenes stuff.
That's awesome. And I'm going to connect Tiffany's website, both of her websites, and also this freebie. Okay, so
yes,
please call her, get a consulting. If you got some money shit going on in your head,
absolutely,
give her a call.
We will take care of that.
Yeah, Tiffany, it's an honor to have you here. Like I said, I just love the energy, and people absolutely love you.
Oh, thank you. And thank you for having me. I was super flattered when you asked me to be on your show.
Awesome. All right, so this is Ernesto, licensed marriage and family therapist. Oh, Tiffany, you're also licensed marriage and family therapist.
I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist as well. What?
There's a reason why I liked you. See?
That's right, California. We got it. You know how it is.
You got it going. All right, this is Ernesto, licensed marriage and family therapist and creator of filmic.com. Thank you so much for listening. See y'all later.
Bye.
Boom.
Boom. It's still recording. Don't scam.
Oh, my bad. All right, we're going to... Sorry, guys. We're going to end right now. And stop.